All right, welcome back in the Hot Sauce today. You and I are very big movie fans.
Yeah, we are.
Who doesn't like a good movie, right? Well, it seems like they're making a lot of remakes, you know, from Footloose to, you know, Dirty Dancing, all that kind of stuff. And they're not always necessarily maybe the right thing to do.
Yeah, every time you hear of a new movie that's getting remade, people have opinions. I know I have mine. And so we got to thinking, you know, what movies would we like to see remade,
Right.
and which ones should they leave alone forever?
Yeah, I think there's a very fine line. The first one we got to talk about, to start off, of course, we have to talk about the one with the biggest Buffalo connection. Robert Redford and Glenn Close starred in the classic 1984 version of You Know What, The Natural. Now, can you at home see a remake of this movie, or did you like it just the way it was? And if you ask me, I liked it the way it was, but maybe we could see a little more Buffalo in there. I don't know. You really couldn't tell it was Buffalo.
Well,
I mean, the
it wasn't
rock
supposed
pile,
to be set in Buffalo.
It wasn't, I know. But, like,
So-
you know, as somebody that lives here, you kind of want to see those landmarks, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, the cool thing is everybody who lives in Buffalo knows somebody who was involved in that movie in one way or another. So if
Right.
they remade it, that connection may go away. But at the same time, the movie itself, besides its Buffalo connections, it's not a standout. I mean, it's not that great. It's a fine movie. There's nothing particularly wrong with it, but it wasn't like the best movie ever. So I wouldn't cry if it got remade.
I loved it because I was a baseball fan. You know, I was like 10 years old when that movie came out, so I loved it and I enjoyed it. I'm not a big Robert Redford fan. If you ask me, he's a little overrated.
Yeah.
Just kind of a boring guy. But anyway, all right. Moving on. I just insulted Robert Redford.
It's fine.
All right.
We're talking about classics
Yeah.
now, because some movies are just made a really long time ago. So what would you think about a new version of Casablanca? I could see, you know, maybe a leading man such as Brad Pitt could work, or Angelina in there, although I hope they wouldn't put the two of them together. You think about stars now that could replace Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman, because there are so many big name people who are these romantic stars.
Right.
It wouldn't necessarily be hard to redo that.
I wouldn't mind seeing a remake of this. I just don't think it needs the George Clooney, Brad Pitt effect, because if you ask me,
Yes.
Humphrey Bogart was not a pretty guy. He had more of that presence. He was kind of a tough guy. So somebody maybe not as pretty as him, you know, like somebody in
And even
that same
Ingrid
category.
Bergman, she wasn't this like
a handsome
sex
lady.
symbol. Well, no, but she
Yeah,
was
right.
she was gorgeous,
Right.
and it would be cool almost to get some unknowns in those parts.
That might work. That
Yeah,
might work.
yeah.
Okay. We're moving on to my favorite subject ever. If you actually go on my bio on the Channel 4 website, you'll see that this is my favorite movie. It's Jaws. Now, some people think this movie could really use some updated effects. Here's the little thing about Jaws. If you have the backstory, if you paid for it like Allie and I did,
Yes.
you know that they were very happy that the shark didn't work and they had so many effect problems, because what you can't see is always more scary. Or
Yes.
most of the time becomes
That whole
more scary.
doo-doo, doo-doo from the shark's point of
Exactly.
view wasn't supposed to happen.
Right.
And because the technology was so terrible in that movie,
The shark
we
barely
got something
made it.
iconic.
That's right.
And I personally, I don't think the lines in this movie could ever be recreated by anybody else. We're going to need a bigger boat. Come on.
Absolutely. I
It's
met
too
Roy
good.
Scheider when I was 10. He said that to me.
This is the coolest
we were just
story
talking
ever.
About that. So, should they remake Jaws? Not now, not ever.
Not once, not never.
Never.